Thank you. Dr. Lowy, I wanted to talk a little bit about the childhood cancer that I spoke about as we were in my opening statement. We talked about this. I talked about the STAR Act, but I guess what I would ask you is, what are you seeing the most promising advances in terms of being able to make advances in this pediatric cancer space, and what some of the differences are, the top challenges that you have?
Senator Capito, I really want to thank you and Senator Reid for the initial passage of the STAR Act and its reauthorization this year. As you know, we're able, as a result, to support areas for cancer survivors, for improving our biospecimens, and then for collaborating with the Childhood Cancer Initiative to develop molecular characterization in more detail. We hope that these and other advances will be able to improve the lives of children who develop cancer, both with improved treatment as well as with less toxicity. There have been several FDA approvals over the last few years, but it's not enough. Children who get cancer, as you know, terrible. Children who die from cancer, even worse. We are working hard at the NCI to support research that is specifically targeted to molecules that are able to interfere with specific abnormalities in a wide range of childhood cancers. As you said in your opening statement, childhood cancers are not adult cancers in children, but they are qualitatively different, and we take advantage of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Hodes, I want to ask you about the flat funding in Alzheimer's, which makes absolutely no sense to me when we see the raging numbers. We know there have been a lot of breakthroughs recently, but I also wanted to ask you about Parkinson's disease, because I think it's I don't know that it's related to Alzheimer's, but it's a neurodegenerative disease. Senator Murphy and I have just put a bill in that leading legislation, National Plan to End a Parkinson's Act, which would coordinate the research across the federal government in other ways. So can you first talk about Alzheimer's and then the Parkinson's issue on the Alzheimer's, the budgeting issue, and then on the Parkinson's, what breakthrough kind of things are you anticipating, are you seeing within your research?
In terms of Alzheimer's disease research, we're clearly at a very exciting juncture, as many of you will have seen in the news, at which, to be perfectly clear, the outcome of congressional support and NIH-funded research has led from translation of basic practice into clinical trials, which are now showing effects for the first time. The necessary funds to continue research in this area are important, as we recognize that from the brains of people with Alzheimer's, it's really a very diverse disease. No one treatment is likely to be sufficient for all. And promising reflection of what we've been able to accomplish, for example, there are now some 59 early stage, phase 1 and phase 2 clinical trials, only 8 of which are targeted to amyloid, the other 51 towards other diverse targets, such as inflammation, protein folding, and ultimately is going to be the ability to personalize which of these is most effective for individuals. So your question about budget and momentum reflects on the fact that if there were limited resources, we'd of course do our best to ration them appropriately, but it would mean a slowing of this whole very successful pipeline from basic discovery through clinical trials and research. I'd also add that as we are seeing a time when clinical trial results are going to be translated into common practice in the communities, we are going to have to look very carefully at what happens when a treatment reaches the community. Which individuals profit most? Who is most at risk for side effects? And this is going to be monitoring these outcomes in a way that we haven't done before. To touch briefly, perhaps, on Parkinson's disease, the potential for a national plan equivalent to what has happened in Alzheimer's disease, I can only project could be as extraordinarily valuable as it has been for Alzheimer's disease. I think you may be referring, in fact, to one particular discovery of a new sensitive means for biomarker accomplishment in Parkinson's that shows the promise of detecting disease even before clinical symptoms. And biomarkers, as they have been in Alzheimer's disease, are very critical to identification early, to monitoring the effects of clinical trials, and to making the appropriate interventions available to the broadest diverse populations.
Well, thank you. Just as a comment, thank you very much. I would agree. Now's not the time for us to take the foot off the pedal when we're starting to see these really breakthrough that affect so many families across the country. Thank you.